This is Channel 253.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain Podcast.
I know that if you are a customer, you're listening, you live in this area, please come down and check out Caskcades. We're handing over the baton tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So starting next week, you're going to see a little bit of a pivot with the business. We love the direction they're taking it in. And I'm going to be excited to be a customer of theirs, you know, and I would encourage anybody listening, hey, come down and check them out. It's going to be really exciting.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, coming to you guys live from Brewallup in Puyallup. We're hanging out during setup so that we don't interrupt all the awesome bands that are coming in today. But yeah, for those of you listening, we are not at Peaks and Pints. We're actually on location at Brewallup, one of the most awesome beer fest that happens in the South Sound, probably in Washington by now. And we're pretty pumped to be here. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here as always with Ron Swarner.
Well, hello.
How's it going, Ron?
This place is great. I can drink at a trot. I can drink at a gallop.
Okay, this place is great. Bethany, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome. And then Phaedra's on mic as well.
I am.
What's up, Phaedra?
What's up with you, Matt?
Not much. Hanging out.
You are somebody.
Shut the
Phaedra told Matt she is somebody.
I know.
We're drinking his beer.
Matt is delicious.
That's right.
Jesus
well, no,
Christ.
I'm not. Actually, I'm not like the others.
What do
Okay.
you have, Phaedra?
What are you drinking?
Gusto from
Man.
Georgetown.
They brought Gusto Crema.
Yeah.
Gold medal winner
And I
right
love
there.
Keith for that.
Like
That's-
multiple time gold
that's
medal
good
winner.
Stuff.
As you guys heard Doug mention, we're drinking a beer with my name on it. Doug, thank you for being on mic too, by the way.
You bet.
And for coming out here to Puyallup to produce our wonderful sound today. So we're drinking a fantastic collab beer that was made by Level Beer. I know Chris is here too. I'm going to shout him out for all you guys on video. Thanks, Chris.
I was telling the camera that Chris is right behind
Chris
the
is right
camera.
here. Got it.
But you can't see him. I'm going
That's
to bring
true.
a mirror one day, I'm telling you.
That's true. So Phaedra's drinking Gusto Crema. I think the rest of us are drinking New Game Plus, which we'll talk a little bit more about when the Caskcades guys are on for the second half of the episode. But I figured since we were hanging out in Puyallup at a beer fest, we would do a little bit of hop history in Puyallup. We're going to rotate a couple of guests on through who are here hanging out for one reason or another. But we should talk about why this festival in particular is awesome and why this town in particular is so important to the history of beer in the Northwest, which is what we're going to do. So everybody knows about Meeker Days in Puyallup. But a lot of folks might not know like why he was so important, why he was such a big deal. Ron has talked a little bit about this in like Skoog Files episodes and some other history episodes. But way back, even before it's like Tacoma was really well known for producing beer, which is something we talk about all the time. Ezra Meeker was planting hops in like the 1860s in Puyallup Valley. Which is crazy. That's like pioneer plantings, like farming, like early industry stuff. And that's who Ezra Meeker was. He was a hop farmer. He didn't grow anything else. When you talk about him establishing like early commerce and stuff in the Puyallup area, that's what it was. It was beer ingredients. And I think you can make a pretty good case that the modern American craft beer industry was actually born here in Puyallup. Probably more valid than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Do you know why he chose hops? Like, what was the...
So actually, that's a good question. So Ezra Meeker was actually a part of a family of farmers, and there was actually a beer brewer in Olympia at the time who needed hops and told Ezra Meeker to grow them. And I wish I could remember his name. I think it was Michael Wood. But yeah, he was a brewer in Olympia, needed hops, didn't know how to get them easily without like importing them. So he was a friend of Meeker's, and he was like, hey, you should grow hops. And the reason that he stuck to it, so he tried it, and then it was really successful the first year, which is really unusual for hops in general, like having them produce flowers the first year in cultivation. But early on in Western Washington, you could get good crops the first year. That was actually the benefit to Western Washington hop farming versus Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington, the soil and everything wasn't quite as rich, so it took multiple years. We had early summer rain, and we had like perfect climate for first year production. So he planted them. It was successful. He sold all of them immediately, and he was like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna do this." And then that was what it was. Puyallup was like the hop capital of the country.
He made tons of trips to New York and San Francisco to work the exchanges.
Yes,
Really?
he did. And actually, he opened remote offices in London so that he could sell hops. He could sell Puyallup hops to Europe because they
Wow.
were so popular early on.
He was the first wetter than Ezra.
I know, he's the OG Ezra. And he was the wettest Ezra.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then it's funny too, actually, so everybody, all the beer distributors are based up in Kent, Washington, super normal. Early on, Kent, like the valley up in Kent, was actually a huge hop farming area as well. But it was also because there was so much, hop farming went from Puyallup all the way up to Issaquah. So there was like Green Valley, White River Valley, and then up to like, I think it was called Squawk Valley back then, but it's Issaquah now. But there was hops everywhere, right? And so right in the middle was Kent. So you could farm hops there,
yeah.
but that's where all the early kiln businesses opened as well. So
okay.
Kent was actually called Titusville for like the first,
Really?
like as soon as
Titusville?
I know. Titusville. For when it was founded, it was Titusville. But because the hop industry in Kent or in Titusville at the time was so robust, they actually renamed it to Kent after Kent County in England, which is also a very well-known hop production
Kent,
region.
yeah.
So Kent is actually named for its hop industry,
Interesting.
which is crazy.
Matt,
Well,
how do you remember all this? I love it. You
the
just
only
know
thing
your
I-
shit. I mean, I'm serious.
It's the only thing.
I love it. I really do.
she's trying to make up for her last
I know.
night.
And I meant
For the
other
meanest
type
thing she's
too,
ever
but
said.
no, I'm serious. I love that you do. You know your shit, and
Yeah.
it's just I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ezra Mika was here doing that. And do you guys ever hear, Ron, do you know why he stopped? Did you ever hear why he stopped?
I can't remember.
Fucking aphids.
That's it.
Oh, really?
Aphids, no joke. So there was he was in the hop industry from like the 1860s to like the 1890s, and there was one year where hop aphids destroyed everything.
Oh,
And
man.
so I mean, for all the valleys, White River, Green River, all the way up to Issaquah area, hop aphids just destroyed everybody's crops, and it was so bad that he was like, you know what? I feel like this is a sign that I shouldn't be doing this anymore.
Just close down shop.
Yeah, he
Sign
just
from
retired.
God.
He's like, I'm growing blueberries now.
I'm going to move to Yakima.
Yeah.
Go to Yakima.
Start something there.
Yeah. There's less aphids over there.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what it was. It was literally hop pests, which is funny because that's like still a huge issue now.
Oh,
like
yeah.
obviously pests and like
Yes.
blight and stuff still
Yeah.
affect the hop industry, especially during like climate change
Right.
crisis times.
And that's where Grayson comes in and handles it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That's cool.
So yeah, if you guys are here drinking beer, obviously it's just brewers setting up and stuff right now. But for anybody listening, go and have a beer in Puyallup. Go attend Brewallup next year because you're kind of drinking in the place where modern American craft beer was first kind of conceived, which is awesome. Early Tacoma breweries, when Tacoma was popping off as like a huge beer producing region, they were getting hops from right where we're sitting, which is awesome.
That's very cool.
Oh man.
Very, very cool.
Thank you guys for hanging out today on location. And yeah, dude.
Yes.
And I'm going to give a quick thank you to the Chamber of Commerce who let us come through and hang out and record while everybody was setting up and talk to some of the brewers and some of the business owners who were hanging out. Speaking of which, hey, Devin, want to hang for a minute? Sure. Yeah? Cool. Hey, Ron, who are we talking to right here?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Devin Bray from Loowit Brewing,
Woohoo!
Hi, Devin.
Hey, Devin.
one of the co-owners.
Thanks for rolling through, man.
Yeah,
So you're not pouring today, but you're up in town hanging out just to hang out and drink, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ron, why are we hanging out with Devin?
Because he brewed our house beer this year. Silent Trees
Silent
IPA.
Trees, yeah.
Silent
We
Trees.
tapped it last night at the party. Thanks for everyone that came out. We were packed, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, happy 8th birthday to Ron
Thank
and
you.
Cakes and Pints,
Thank
which is
you.
amazing.
Yeah. The beer is delicious. It's so clean. It's got a little lemon. It's got a nice little bite to it. I love it.
Yeah, can you
Nice.
tell us
Nice
about
job. Landon did a wonderful job.
I was gonna say Landon's still killing it down there.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, dude.
I can't take any credit for brewing it.
Yeah,
He was fun to brew with, too.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I know. I love. I haven't tried it yet. I cannot wait to try it. I will probably be by sometime this weekend to crush a glass of it.
What hops and malts are in it?
Simcoe, Amarillo, Chinook, and Columbus.
And Centennial.
Centennial,
It's a little
okay.
Centennial on
Yeah.
dry hop.
Nice, kind of classic sea hop mix.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Beer turned out great. It's almost say kind of delicate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my favorite beer
citrus. Yeah,
description.
it's a good IPA.
Yeah.
Ron's house beers are always like kind of dank, piney, like
That's
usually punchy.
every one of them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I drank back
I
in
was
the
gonna
day.
say that's just what you want to drink. Yeah, I love it.
Devin, tell us about the new tap room.
Yeah, so Loowit opened a second location. It's first time doing a satellite spot, and we opened it August in northeast Vancouver, Orchards neighborhood, and its location's been a long time tap room, maybe 10 plus years, and we're the third occupant of the space, but we did a nice remodel, gave it a nice character, comfortable feel. It's a log cabin, lodgy vibe inside.
Nice. It's got a nice walk-around bar.
Yeah, big bar, and the patio's probably larger than the actual indoor space. It's
sweet.
It's awesome. And we got small kitchen, but really cool, like scratch, chef-driven menu with Chef Ben. It's awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What was the name of that hazy you guys brewed for the opening?
Oli's IPA.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on tap when I
It's
visit.
it's my current favorite.
Yeah, I just happened to roll through coming up from Tucson. I think the day or the day after you opened it.
It was
Very
really close. Yeah.
Stumbled in.
You were just like,
Dumb luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew we were going to do the house beer, so I definitely wanted to come by and say
Sure.
hi.
You're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and.
Yeah, I was going to go downtown, but oh, look at this.
Yeah, here's a new place I haven't drank beer at yet.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. I was like, hey, I know that guy.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's awesome.
a fun brew day. I mean, plenty of breweries in Vancouver.
I know, it's actually amazing. And actually, there's a couple of them up here. Vice sent some beer up. Who else is up here? Fuck, is it just Vice up here today?
Is Trap up here?
Maybe. There's a list of breweries sitting right in front of me, but I can't quite see it on my ankle. That's not Vancouver. That's close, though, Phaedra. Fact check Phaedra on the clock, man.
It's too early.
No, dude, that's actually we were just talking because our like fresh hop wrap up thing came out yesterday, and I meant to ask those guys if they had oh, what's up, Kenny?
Just
God,
lumbering in.
No. Don't look.
Finally grew up. I'm kidding. Please don't do it now.
We try. There's some brews, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for the rainy days,
Never mind, I'm
Ken.
the only growing up thing. Okay, did Lando make it up here during fresh hop season?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I believe it did,
Did it?
but I
Okay.
can't say with
Did
any
you get some, Ron?
I didn't get that one.
Okay. That was like, so we were talking to Austin.
I got the
and,
other one.
The turbulent
Yeah,
juice
turbulent.
fresh hop.
Okay,
Yeah.
We were talking to Austin and Michael about like ones that got away, and like Lando is like pretty highly acclaimed fresh hop. I think you guys have multiple pieces of hardware for that.
Yeah,
I
it was,
stand corrected.
2021.
I tapped it.
Oh, you did tap it.
I tapped
Oh, okay.
it.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I
I
had
did
a
not
keg.
try it.
I was
That
thinking
was-
the can, but no, I tapped it.
Okay.
There was a fresh hop gold IPA at the Washington Beer Awards in 2021 or 22.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first that came on the scene this year. Very early.
Yeah. I'm sad that I missed it. We were talking about ones that got away, and like that was in my head. I was like, actually, I did not drink Lando this year. I feel like every other award-winning like fresh hop I try to grab just to like see if it's how it's changed or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was one that got away from me this year. Traditionally, one of my favorite fresh hops though.
What do you have coming out next?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of the brew schedule anymore.
Yeah.
So
It's all on Landon's plate now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's the keeper of the brew schedule.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, yeah, I imagine it's been very stressful and time-consuming trying to run two different locations since this new one opened up.
Yeah, things are starting to settle a little bit now.
Nice.
But in the beginning, it was like, oh my God, what have we done?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like the new spot's starting to gel. Staff's figuring things out.
For sure.
It's looking good.
And then did Loowit? I feel silly for not knowing this for sure because I should. But Loowit just celebrated an anniversary not too long ago.
Yeah,
too, right?
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
12th
ago.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. What did Michael say? First preteen brewery ever in Vancouver or something like that?
Yep. I believe
tweener.
Yeah.
I believe that was it. Yep.
That's really cool. Which, like, I was trying to think about it, and like, I mean, Vancouver's sort of beer scene now is pretty robust, man. Tons of medals and tons of great breweries.
Bunch of great breweries, and you just.
But it's relatively young.
It is.
Like, if you guys are at least maybe now the oldest currently operating brewery in Vancouver.
Loowit and Heathen.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't remember which was first.
But that's amazing. How has it been like watching from when you guys started to sort of see this really, really strong beer industry kind of be built and cultivated around you?
It's been cool to see. You know, we started Loowit on a shoestring budget. I don't think you could get away doing what we did now.
Yeah.
And everybody that's come along after us is like, each step they've been a little bit better prepared, better funded, and you know, it's cool to see that growth and people learning from each other and. Don't do what the Loowit guys did.
You're the yardstick where they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's a humbling but probably a good position to be.
Yeah, but you can beat them all at pinball.
Yes, yeah, probably, yeah. I will say
the most confident you sounded in the last 10 minutes.
I did beat Mike from Fort Side at pinball. That was I
really.
took great pride in that. Mike's very competitive, so
sure.
If you're listening, I'm sorry.
Not sorry though.
Yeah, no. Sorry, not sorry.
Are you guys doing anything for North Bank Beer Week coming up?
Yes, we've got live comedy at the downtown Loowit. The other Loowit is going to have a Mario Kart tournament.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Matt.
Yep.
Let's go.
Dude, I'm down for any competitive video game / beer event.
Yes.
I used to actually, speaking of that, so we're here, the Caskcades guys who run this, I used to do like Beat the Brewer night because they had a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 machine, and if you could beat me at that game, I'd buy you a beer. And I had no tab at the end of the night. Because none of you got it.
Nice.
I'll actually be down for North Bank Beer Week. I'm doing a couple of events as well, which will be cool. So I'm going to swing by.
All right.
For that Monday and Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
I feel silly for not. So we've talked about Vice a couple of times. We've had Michael on the podcast before. But actually, Devin, I'm pretty sure I owe you a thank you for introducing me to Michael a long time ago, because he was actually sitting at Loowit one day, and you were like, hey, I don't know if you've met this guy, but he's going to open up a bar up in Centralia.
Oh, yeah?
And that was actually
box,
I was like there. I'm pretty sure I was there because I locked my fucking keys in my truck when I was picking up an order from you.
I remember that day.
And I was there, and I just had to like hang out for a beer waiting for the locksmith, and you were like, hey, while you're here, you should meet this guy who's opening up a cool new bar in an old Elks tavern in Centralia. Yeah. And that was the first time I met Michael. I was really grumpy, so it wasn't a good first
Was he wearing the helmet?
No.
The Darth Blazer helmet?
The Darth Blazer helmet. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, now I'm having a little PTSD from that. My truck was parked in the middle, like in the loading area, and Landon had just slung a pallet onto it, and I, for some reason, locked my fucking keys in my truck, so I was sitting there for like 45 minutes in the middle of the road, like in the turn lane. It was really embarrassing. So I had a couple of beers,
in the turn lane?
In the turn lane, yeah, sitting in the turn lane, just leaning against the truck. Yeah. And I think I had a barbecue sandwich from next door. Or no, you maybe a burger, actually.
Could have been a burger, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll take it on the road. And you were like, no, don't take it on the road. These are messy as shit. So yeah, core beer memories at Loowit, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, thank you for introducing me to Michael, who obviously went on to open a fantastic business in Centralia, and then went on to open up Vice Beer, who, speaking of like Fresh Hop Awards this year, fucking annihilated, man. I think they have I don't know, 4 medals for their fresh hops this year.
Yep.
And their new brewer, actually, who came from Von Ebert, has been like crazy killing it. Which, by the way, I might grab a pour there as well. We're on break in a minute. But their linoleum IPA got kegged up yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And so it's like, I spilled some today because I fucked up a little bit when I was setting up the jockey box, but it smelled really good.
There's lots of good beer here. I'm ready to try.
What's that?
There's lots of good beer here. I'm ready to try.
I know. I'm like, we're gonna do figure out.
Fort George is here.
Fort George is here, which is awesome.
For the first time.
Single Hill is here for the first time, which is fucking rad.
Yeah.
Claim 52 is up here, who I absolutely love.
I'm staring at Matchless right now.
Oh no, Aladdin Lass is here too.
Speaking of Fresh Hop Awards.
I know. Separately, Fresh Hop Awards.
Yeah. They won the rodeo, I believe.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they sure did.
The Single Hill Rodeo.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruce. Actually, so Tanium is listed on there. We're actually, we commandeered Tanium's table. I'm really sad because I think Gabe broke down on the way over the pass. But Tanium is awesome, and they make some of the best farmhouse beers that I think nobody talks about often enough, but his beer is fucking awesome. So they're over in the...
Dave's not here.
I know. They're over in the Roslyn area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic beer, though. I'm sad that he can't
We brought
actually
him
be
in.
here. But Iron Horse, Stoop, there's tons of great beer. And it's honestly a great mix of non-local folks and then off-campers here. Powerhouse has a setup. There's local stuff that if you're coming here and you're not from Puyallup, you still get to try some of the stuff that kind of made this town, cool contemporary beer area. But then there's also people that come from out of town, which is rad. And Fremont also, I don't want to give away secrets, but Fremont brought barrel-aged stuff. Yeah. Which is amazing.
So they're going to pour it above table, not below.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. I don't know about timed taps, though. I didn't see anything about timed taps or special releases so far. But I'll be taking laps. Mm-hmm. And then Tacoma's in the house, too, actually. So Narrows is over here. Odd Otter is over here. So, yeah, good to see hometown people over on this side, too.
Fierce County.
And Fierce County's hanging out. Yeah, dude. Well, it's almost time to refill beers. Devin, anything you want to shout out before you hop off, man? Before we take a quick break?
No.
Besides go drink Loowit and hang out at your tap room?
Yeah, drink Loowit, visit our new spot.
Yeah. And so you guys will actually hear this the Friday prior to North Bank Beer Week. If you don't have any plans from November 9th through November, I think, 19th, go down to Vancouver and see what events are going on, man, because they do it up. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're very creative.
They sure are. And go to Ben's for their beer can derby races, which we did in Tacoma this year with the Heidelberg Derby. But Michael was actually the one who came up, and they've been doing it at Ben's for years now. Mm-hmm. And those guys take it real serious.
Yeah, it's super fun.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do the Brewers heats do you go through for the Brewers heats?
I have, and terrible.
Yeah. Who ends up winning that every year? Is it Von Ebert that ends up winning every year?
They've won several years.
Yeah, they're they're the villains now. If you beat them,
they're not even in the North Bank. What are they doing there?
I know, right? I imagine this exact attitude translates to everybody else. Yeah. You don't even go here. Well, Devin, thanks for hanging out, man. We're going to take a break, refill beers real quick. Refill beers real quick. Jesus Christ.
I'll be thinking about you all year.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
Yeah. If you're listening, hang out for just a second. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hello, Channel 253 listeners. This is Citizen Tacoma host Eric Hanberg.
And sound producer Doug Mackey.
And this is election season 2024. And if you're like me and sound producer Doug, you are watching those polls. Sometimes good days, sometimes bad days. Mm-hmm. Especially those swing states, the national stuff, North Carolina, Michigan, Arizona. There's a lot of things that we're watching that aren't Tacoma. And this is just a gentle reminder that there is this podcast network about Tacoma and things that are interesting to Tacomans, and that is Channel 253.
And as we move toward the election, Eric Hamburg will be back hosting Citizen Tacoma podcast.
We have Nate Bowling and Nerd Farmer.
Evelyn and Joe will be with us again.
There's always the white ladies to break it down.
And the sisters to make us open up.
So when maybe the national news is just a little too much, please consider turning to Channel 253 for your local content. And don't forget that, we are listener-supported, member-supported, $4 a month, $40 a year. Your support can really mean a world of difference to us right now. And that is at channel253.com/membership.
And thank you for your ongoing support.
Absolutely.
Welcome back from the break, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. As always, a quick shout out to Doug Mackey, our wonderful producer, who's hanging out on the side here. And to Chris, who's got us on video.
Yay, Chris.
What's up, guys? And then we're all drinking new beer and talking to new people. AJ, how's it going, man?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Totally. Thanks for hanging out and for putting on this amazing fucking festival.
Oh, I wish I could say it was me, but this is a lot of
It's a
teamwork
lot of
here in the
people.
community, and I am just one tiny cog in the wheel, in the inner workings.
Tiny
But yeah,
what?
it's super fun to put on. It's amazing to be part of this and bring it to Puyallup.
Hell yeah. This is awesome. I gush about this event a lot. It's also maybe one of the only festivals that I spend my own free time at.
Thank you, Matt.
If I'm not working a festival, I'm usually not there. It's like just because it's a beer fest. But I have come out to this one multiple years in a row on my personal time. And actually, all three of us ran into each other last year.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, we all three came separately, and then we're like, hey, we probably should take a picture together.
Well, we've wanted to get you guys here for the last couple of years. The Grit and Grain podcast is just so cool for the local beer community. It's a big deal for us to have you guys here.
Cool. That's
Thank
nice
you
of you
very
to
much.
say. Thank you.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Yeah, what are you drinking, AJ?
I'm drinking probably what you guys were drinking before. I'm this new level beer that we just brewed.
Hell yeah.
That you helped set up. Thank you so much. The guys at Level. It's drinking fantastic. We were just, talking about it, like how sneaky of a 6.8 beer is this?
I know, you guys are going to mess some people up.
Yeah, I
This
can
could
tell.
be
I can tell you
bad.
it's working.
I know.
Yeah, so good it could be bad, right? But,
Yeah, exactly.
but
I couldn't
mean
even
that obviously
I
at
couldn't
a-
even cut to the break without slurring my words after drinking that fucking beer.
Welcome to my world.
So yeah, actually Level is here. Andy from Level is up here to pour today. So if you're here, absolutely go check out Level stuff. And then you guys are pouring this collab beer. Do you want to talk about the collab a little bit?
Yeah,
The
yes.
name and what we got in it?
So, the hop profile I would rather you talk about, but I will say that, what we decided on was we decided to name the beer Game Plus.
New Game Plus.
And
Yeah,
it
dude.
was, the idea being, hey, this is a new chapter for Caskcades, and that brand is going to get the opportunity of really firing back up under new ownership with this opportunity to encapsulate all the stuff we've already built and really start with kind of that advantage, which was the inspiration of the beer, right?
Yeah.
It's not an end of a chapter as much as it's a beginning of a new chapter.
Yeah, but with all the
And-
knowledge and info
yeah,
you had from the
right.
first one.
Yeah.
New Game Plus. Love it.
Yeah,
You were a community gathering spot for Puyallup.
we sure try to be.
Yeah, you were for sure.
Yeah,
felt
I mean,
very
we-
homey and very community like every time.
Well, yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Agreed. Yeah, it's great. I've been there with
you
my
did a
kids.
great job.
Yeah, many times.
Well, we appreciate that, and I would say, Ron, it was guys like you that inspired us to develop what we developed, right? We looked around, we were so enamored with the beer community and craft beer, and then as we got to meet people within the community, it's like we thought we wanted to be in beer, and then once we had the opportunity to really engage with the community, we had no idea what we were getting into, and we couldn't be happier. Like, you can't find a cooler, more eclectic, more artistic community that supports each other like beer. And I don't think
Hear,
people
hear.
necessarily
Facts.
see it. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good call. I think it is. I think it's awesome to approach running the business, like running a beer business, as like the catalyst for introducing people to those things about the beer community. I think Ron does a great job with that. I think there's a lot of beer businesses that do a great job with that, and breweries too. But it's like with the goal of like, you got here and you were like, yo, this community is way cooler than I thought it was going to be. Like, everybody should have a chance to be a part of this, and then kind of base your business model around that. I feel like you guys have done a really good job with that. And we're actually, so like we're here to, one of the reasons that you're on is because your guys' journey is at least your end of the journey is kind of coming to a close.
Yeah.
People listening, like we do talk about beer business stuff all the time, and kind of, how the sausage is made type deal, and what led to you guys being ready to pass the torch?
I mean, some of it is, some of it may have to do with the industry. A lot of it has to do with just our personal journeys. Right. When we started this business, it's now been 7 years of Caskcades with an additional about 2 years of development. And my kids currently are 21, 15, and 13.
Sure.
And
they were babies
when
when
I
you
started,
started.
I mean, they were just,
dude.
It felt like we had all the time in the world to do this. And we've just, Andy's in the same boat. His boys are around the same ages as my kids. And it's one of those things where we just, through COVID, and we talked about this when we were on prior, right? Like it allowed us to kind of look around and prioritize our lives a little differently. And we're excited to be able to start a new chapter for ourselves. We're also excited for Caskcades to get a new chapter with new ownership that we know, we are super confident is going to take it to levels that we wanted to and believed we could, and just time, other commitments, everything else, right?
Totally.
So we just thought it was time. It was time for the business to be under new leadership where it really has the opportunity to shine in this community the way that we know it can if we had, an additional 20 hours apiece and less other commitments to give to it. And it's not fair to the business if we're just kind of, okay, we're here, but we're just kind of maintaining.
Sure.
The community deserves better than that.
Well, Caskcades will always be close to my heart because we brewed a beer together. Andy and I were at E9 and we brewed Blown Deadline with late Matt Driscoll from the News Tribune. And,
oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot you guys did that
always
together.
be special to me. And thank you guys again.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, that was a great
Christ.
beer.
Yeah, it was special.
That was a great beer and very special.
And we debuted it at Tacoma Beer Week too, which is great.
Well, I'm hoping, Ron, that you'll give Shelby and Jake, who will, I think Shelby will be on a little bit later, hoping you give them an opportunity to brew a beer with you here down the road
I'm
too.
in, for sure. So.
Yeah, so I'm like, do you want to talk a little bit about like passing the torch to one of your own employees?
Yeah, I mean, so it's a great opportunity. If you've been to Caskcades, know that the stuff that you love about Caskcades is still going to be there. It's still going to be a super craft focused spot, but they've got some great new ideas. We're really excited to see what they're going to do. And I know that if you are a customer, you're listening, you live in this area, please come down and check out Caskcades. We're handing over the baton tomorrow. So starting next week, you're going to see a little bit of a pivot with the business. We love the direction they're taking it in. And I'm going to be excited to be a customer of theirs, and I would encourage anybody listening, hey, come down and check them out. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, awesome. Have you ever heard the joke, I got promoted to customer? When somebody, like, you guys actually get to say that? Yeah, I actually got promoted to being a customer. I get to enjoy the fruits of my business in a way that I really haven't before, ever. That's kind of cool. That's like a nice, like, I imagine the next time you walk in just to buy a beer, just to open a tab, where it's nothing in there is your responsibility anymore, and you just get to like have a beer. There's got to be something really like cathartic about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that sneaks up on you, right? I went this morning to grab a couple kegs we need to bring over here, and I thought as I'm entering in the code on our security system, I'm like, this might be the last time I ever do this. Right? And it was like it snuck up on me. I didn't think about it until all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is kind of a weird feeling. This is like I'm saying goodbye to this key panel right here. But it is a surreal feeling, but we're excited. It's something to be excited about. It's not a sad thing.
Totally.
In the least. We've had the most epic run in the beer industry. We've had so much fun, and we're not going anywhere. Andy's not on here with me right now, but I'll tell you, neither him or me will be disappearing. We're just going to change roles. And,
sure.
And we're still going to be lurking as people that adore this industry. You'll see us around.
Totally.
In what capacity, I don't know, but you'll see us.
As far as Andy says, you guys are still going to be doing Brewallup every year, right?
Yeah. I mean, the goal is to stay here, part of this every year, as long as the Chambers wants us.
That's
right?
awesome.
So
I hope,
we're happy to put it on.
We're broadcasting this, so I'm sure they can hear it. But you guys, hopefully they will invite you back every year to help organize. So here, I'm going to tell you guys something. So there's a big difference, and we've talked about this before, but there's a big difference between beer fests that are organized by local business folks and then beer fests that are organized by people who are in the beer industry. So I took a picture this morning after dumping all of the ice that you guys provided into my jockey box, because you guys brought the good ice, the really small cubes that actually like cover everything. You didn't just like, that's such a specific detail that if you didn't hear 30 breweries go, hey man, like if you didn't hear 30 breweries complain about the fucking ice that you provide, you wouldn't know to bring the good ice, but you guys bring the good ice. And so that's like a good example of why it's important to have local industry people organizing beer fests like Brewallup, because they bring the good ice. I'm going to post that picture later.
Sounds kind of drug dealy, but
it does kind of sound kind of, yeah. Andy's like, hey, I know. They got the good ice. Yeah. AJ, thanks so much for hanging out, dude. I appreciate you telling your story for a second.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, congrats on your success.
You know, hopefully down the road, we'll be back on talking about something new.
Hell yeah.
Different. We'll see what happens.
You ready to trade seats?
Yep. All right, here comes the real rock star.
Here comes the real rock star. All right, so who AJ just traded seats with is Shelby, the official new owner of Caskcades.
Hello.
How's it going?
You changed that code right away. Right?
Yeah, don't worry. We changed the locks. We changed
This
the
is
code.
mine now.
No access.
Wiped
no more
out all
access
the
for
high
them.
scores on the
Yeah,
pinball.
exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God, that sounds devastating. Are you kidding? Every dirty word that Andy put on his initials for the high scores is all gone now.
Yeah, for sure.
There's 5 asses just as the high scores.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what is on the
100%
right now.
You've been in the beer industry for a minute, but welcome to the beer industry as an owner, dude.
Yeah, this is the big leagues now.
Totally.
For sure.
How does that feel?
Heard.
Yeah, no,
it's definitely scary, but so excited, so hopeful, really happy. Yeah. So
how long have you been at Caskcades?
So I've been at Caskcades for almost 2 years now. So not too long. But that's really been my stint in the industry. It's just Caskcades.
Yeah.
So
just so you know, you could do worse.
Yeah.
I've joked before about like Andy and AJ, like Caskcades University, I think is a thing. There's multiple folks who have gone through Caskcades, learned a shitload, and then went on to do amazing stuff in the industry.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
There are supplier reps who are slinging beer to bars all over Washington that got their start at Caskcades.
Yeah.
That's no joke. And then buyers at other places who run fantastic beer programs who cut their teeth at Caskcades. So you for sure could do worse.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, Caskcades is great, obviously. Here we are.
So what brought you to the decision to purchase a business in the craft beer world?
So owning my own bar and tap room has kind of been a dream of mine for forever.
Fucking congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
I pivoted. I worked in the medical field for like 12 years, so nothing to do with beer. But my husband, Jake, and I, we frequented Caskcades as customers since the day they opened. We lived right downtown.
Yeah.
And I have a 5-year-old daughter, and she has grown up in that place. And it means more to me than I think a lot of people really understand.
Sure.
And so when the opportunity arose, I just kind of looked at Andy and AJ and I was like, so I want this.
Yeah.
If you're willing to give it to me.
I got it. Give it, I got it.
I want it. So that's kind of how we got here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And scary and exciting.
Yeah.
What personal touches are you going to add to the Caskcades?
We designed a new logo, but still.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Still like same feel as Caskcades. We're just gonna like clean and like paint a little bit, and we want it to be the same. Like that's also a huge reason why we wanted to have this place, because we love it so much and we love what Andy and AJ have done that we didn't want someone to come in and change the whole thing.
That's okay. I love that.
So
That's super
we'll have
valid.
our own personal touches, obviously, but we want it to be what it is to its core. So not too much is going to change.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you already know, like, you're on the ground floor, like, working there, so you know, like, the ins and outs of everything. It's not just, like, you're coming in cold to, like, oh, hey, I bought a bar, and I don't know what's going on.
Well,
like,
I mean,
it'll be a smooth transition.
so smooth. Andy and AJ have been great. I can't thank them enough. Like, they have created something so amazing, and I don't know if I could have ever done this from the ground up, like by myself. And so they have provided me with something great. So
yeah. That's awesome. So I'll tell you this on mic, just because like there's like a huge wave of sort of like suspicion when really well-liked established beer owners or business owners in the industry say that they're selling or they're, all that stuff. And Andy and AJ being who they are, we've gushed about them plenty. They're those guys. We love working with them. They run a great program. They help lift the craft beer community around them, which is awesome. There's probably businesses in Puyallup that buy beer from dudes like me who wouldn't prior to them being open.
Yeah.
And that's a huge deal. So when people on my side hear that guys like them are selling a business, we're like, fuck, like what's going to happen here?
Right.
Like, God damn it. And so like I have been in meetings with potential new business owners when people are like, hey, these are the people who are going to buy our business. And, all the beer reps and all the supplier guys are in the same room, and we're all kind of listening to these guys talking, and we're like, wow, this is going to be awful.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are
terrible.
I know. These guys are too green for this. There's no fucking way that this is going to happen. Like, oh my God. And so just so you know, I'm going to blow smoke a little bit.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there was a big collective sigh of relief when they said that they were selling to you and not somebody brand spanking new.
No, that means a lot.
They were like, hey, we found a buyer, and we're like, oh my God, who is buying? Like, who do we have to try to teach this whole fucking industry to? And they were like, no, it's Shelby. And we're like, oh my God, thank you.
I mean,
thank fucking Jesus.
Not 40% ambers.
Hey, I still have a lot to learn, obviously, and
but you're willing to do it.
I'm
That's the difference. That's the
so
difference.
willing. We want all the help we can get, and the craft beer industry that's why we love it so much. Is it's a huge community, and I have made some of the best friends from this, and so we're really excited, and we're really happy that you guys are welcoming us with open arms, and of course, and yeah,
totally. Well, we're so happy for you. Absolutely big congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for hanging out for a few
Yeah,
minutes on the podcast to talk
course.
about you owning a new
Thank you
business.
for having me. This has been a great experience.
Awesome.
Cheers. All right, Grit and Grainers. Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and suggestions for other Washington State City Beer Festival names, such as Bremerton, Algona, Beer Elam, Lager Forest Park, Nuke Suds, and of course the Great Covington Beer Festival. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as fast as we can. If not online, then on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, and iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. And please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253 and gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for episode notes, beer news, and Dave Matthews sightings, like this week when he shopped at a Seattle market and bought a Lucky Envelope beer, then sang "Cold Crash Into Me" on the way out the door. If this is not your podcast, please, if this is not what you expected, please alter your expectations. What's the most famous line from the Puyallup film Scone with the Wind? Frankly, my dear, I am good with jam. No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine. Woo! Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Brewallup. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media, and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253. Good up.